Have you ever wondered why we're scared of the things we are? Why certain things make us scared and other things don't? Whether it be the dark, clowns, spiders, or any creature of the night, what makes us scared of these seemingly normal phenomena? Is it the danger it could put us in? Is it the uncertainty of what it's capable of? Is it some underlying psychological issue? What causes us to perceive something as scary? And can we design someone to have a fear of something they prior didn't? This was the hypothesis for the Little Albert experiment. Can we place a fear into a previously unfearful adolescent? Can we design a human to be fearful of whatever we want them to be afraid of? The Little Albert experiment was a 1920 investigation conducted by John B. Watson to see how the human mind conducts phobias. A 9-month-old baby known only as Albert was introduced to a multitude of different stimuli. He was given a dog, a rabbit, and a white rat to play with, as well as shown people in different kinds of masks and disguises. Little Albert showed little reaction to these things except minor interest. He at least most certainly was not afraid of them. The experimenters then put Little Albert on a mat with a steel pole hanging behind him. They then brought the white rat back in and put it on the floor next to Albert. Every time curious Little Albert went to touch the rat, somebody would hit the steel pole behind him, making a loud noise that gave Albert a scare. It didn't take long for Little Albert to associate the rat with the fear emotion. Now whenever someone placed the white rat anywhere near Albert, he would cry out, crawling to get as far away from the creature as he could. They had successfully given him a new phobia of rats that he didn't have prior to the experiment. Although there were some unforeseen outcomes. Not only did Albert now have a fear of rats, but of any small furry object as well. Now when even the rabbits or dogs were placed next to him, he'd start to cry out in fear. Even stuff like cotton wool and Santa's beard would set off the same fearful outburst from Albert. And the worst part is, once the experiment was concluded, nobody did anything to reverse the effects it had on Little Albert, and it's hazy on if his mother ever agreed to have the experiment tested on him in the first place. So, the ethics surrounding this study are questionable at best, and downright despicable at worst. Once the test had ended, Albert was sent back to his mother with new fears and all. What happened to Albert after this is still not completely confirmed. His mother moved away and his real name was always kept confidential. But recently, it had been discovered a man going by the name of William Barger was born at the right time and place to have been Little Albert. His mother had also worked in the same facility the experiment had been conducted at. While his name was William, since a child, everyone called him by his middle name, Albert. He had passed away in 2007 at the age of 87, and he probably wouldn't have known as an infant he was part of a psychological experiment, but family members of his always mentioned how he had a crippling fear of dogs and other small animals that persisted into his old age. He could not be in the same room with any furred animal, and when he was always met with waves of anxiety. If this man William Barger was indeed Little Albert, then this experiment would prove that we can condition humans to be fearful of anything we want them to be.